speaking of potential goalie matchup to watch out for in LA and Edmonton, we have the tale of two goaltenders for me personally. I can quickly jump in here.
Do it.
My X factors. I didn't like putting goaltending X factors, and I did it maybe once or twice before, but this one I have X factors on both sides because Darcy Kuemper coming off one of his best statistical seasons in the NHL in the regular season. 922 save percentage, a 29.45 goals saved above expected, which is third best in the NHL. Stuart Skinner on the opposite side. If he starts, Calvin Pickard was not much better. Stuart Skinner, 894 save percentage, 5.65 goals saved above expected, which is fine. Pickard, though, 900, minus 5.86 goals saved above expected. So, however you slice and dice it, the goaltending on the Oilers side does not match up to the goaltending on the Kings side, and I think that's also a byproduct of the Kings system. Those are two X factors for me that I think can make the real difference, apart from we know the X factors on the Edmonton Oilers side, and their health has been come into question recently with Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid. Will they, won't they get into some game action, basically, right? I think they will. They're both going to get in there, but you got to ask the question about how healthy they're going to be. So for me personally, I'm gonna watch to see, can Stuart Skinner kind of turn it on again like he did in the playoffs last year? Will Darcy Kuemper kind of turn into a bit of a pumpkin, or will he be at the level that he was at when they won, when the Avs won the Stanley Cup in 2022, and he was the starting goaltender there? So that's the two questions I have to ask for this series.
Yeah, no, I'll go ahead and hit you with my marquee matchup, which we're going to change on the fly because I might have had Darcy Kuemper versus Connor McDavid on Leon Draisaitl. But no, because listen, like that is where the story starts and ends with this series. Like that is where the talking points are for a reason. I've got something else for you though. On the Edmonton side, they need to lengthen the lineup. Like it needs to be more than Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, as much as they are world beaters. And even, let's say, what I mentioned in the next 2 seconds here doesn't come to fruition, they could still win this series off the backs of those two. Like, that's how good those guys are.
For sure.
But if you want to talk about winning a Stanley Cup, which they almost did last year, it requires more than those two. It does. Evander Kane is going to potentially be coming back in this series. This is something that they're adding to the lineup for the first time all year. My counterpart to him on the LA side, Andrei Kuzmenko, added at the deadline, kind of just didn't really do much in Philly after not doing much in Calgary to start the season. Got to LA, 17 points in 22 games for Andrei Kuzmenko, 5 goals. These are guys that I think you can compare their games pretty similarly, like bigger guys with soft hands around the net. Think of Evander Kane, the upside is definitely there, but we haven't even seen the health this season. So
for sure.
I think those are two guys where it's like, yeah, you want to talk about depth, give me Kuzmenko versus Evander Kane as a marquee matchup.
Yeah, how many times have we said like that you need to lengthen the lineup in Edmonton? Last year they had those secondary guys like RNH played really well. Hyman with the 50-goal season continued in the playoffs. This year, I mean, Warren Foegele is a guy who kind of provided depth. He's on the other side now. I think it's one of those things where they just have not, the Oilers, they have not had that secondary scoring. And even their defense, it's just been one of those where it's been pretty laughable outside of, Bouchard on the offensive end. And you got some extra guys, and I'm going to get into that real quick with the blame game. On the LA side, if any year is their year to beat the Oilers, I think this is their likeliest. But I do see that they're not a very offensive team to begin with. But I think offense completely drying up is going to be their downfall. They have a really good defensive structure. But that being said, if we look at some of their players, like Adrian Kempe is their leading scorer with 73 points. Then you have Kopitar 67, Fiala 60. They're very it's a team, right? It's not like one guy.
They roll 4 lines.
They roll 4 lines, and you don't have the world beaters in Draisaitl and McDavid on the other side, who are McDavid not 100 points, but as close as possible, and Draisaitl lit up the world as usual this year with the Ross Trophy. Sorry, not the Rocket Richard. They're 28th in power play percentage as well. LA is. And although they don't win with their offense, they're going to have to score if you're going to have those guys in the other team that are going to put the puck in the net. It could be a shootout depending on how things play out. Without a game-breaking talent, I just see that they're going to have to win by committee, and one of these guys, whether it's Byfield, whether it's Kopitar, who's done it like countless times, or whether it's Fiala or Kempe, like they need to put the puck in the net, and one of these guys has to grab the reins and say, like, all right, boys, it's, let's say 4-2. We might have to win 6-5. Like, I'll put the team on my back and score. So we'll see if that ends up happening. A juicy one on Edmonton. I think it's our boy Darnell Nurse. Okay, and man, I
don't know if he's our boy.
No, he's not. He's not my boy. You know what?
He's the boy, maybe.
He's a boy. Look, I think especially after the cross-check to Quinton Byfield a couple games ago, I think he's got a target on his back. Not only on the LA side, I think he's had a target on his back in Edmonton for the past 5 or 6 years. His contract doesn't help, but I think in a way when the Leafs look at guys like Jake Gardiner and players in the past where there's that one defenseman that just doesn't live up to snuff, and I know Morgan Riley's kind of been teetering on that the past few years. He's gotten a little bit less of that hate in the past couple of months with Carlo on his wing or on his other side there. But point is, I think Darnell Nurse is holding on to that, like, this guy needs to perform, and it is a little bit more helpful that he has like an Evan Bouchard who has taken some of that brunt away from him this year because he doesn't play a lot of great defense. But once those Bouch bombs start flying in the playoffs, no one cares if he's going to make some defensive errors. He's going to score. Is Darnell Nurse going to play the exact same way? And with Ekholm out, Nurse might be the guy that the team looks to kind of bear a lot of that Brock Faber ice time, right? And kind of hold in on some of these big guys. Kulak should cover up a couple holes too. I read, it was actually looked at him when I looked up his hockey DB. He's played 3 straight years of 82 games, so he's a rock, right? Like, he's a guy that's going to stay out there and probably shut guys down as much as possible. But Nursey boy, he already has the target on his back. He's like, why are you cross-checking guys on the ice? Like in Edmonton, they're like, focus on playoff hockey. And if he doesn't, I can see the Edmonton fans turning on him after like one game.
Who had the chirp? This was probably years ago. The $9 million chirp. Oh my God, who was that?
I don't know.
Someone said to him like on the ice, like it was something along the lines of like, you make $9 million to do nothing. It was basically something like that.
I don't know, but somebody did, and that's been his downfall. I mean, you sign the contract that you sign, and ultimately, like, regardless from there on out, you kind of have to perform, and if you don't, you still earn the money you do. I always hate using an argument too much, but he's kind of been that liability in a certain sense over the past couple of years, and I just wonder if it sticks out like a sore thumb without Ekholm this year as well.
All right, guys. So we've talked enough about the series, the Kings and the Oilers. What do we think is going to go down for the series?
I think this is the year. Year number 4, 4th time's the charm. That's definitely the saying. Give me the Kings in 6. And I think it just goes to what we were talking about. We just finished wrapping up about Darnell Nurse and the Oilers' blue line. Without Ekholm, like, here's how the depth chart goes: Bouchard, Nurse, Kulak, and then it's Jake Wallman. I should throw in there as well. Let's throw in Jake Wallman.
Emberson.
But Ty Emberson and Troy Stetcher are your 5-6. Or you're looking at like Josh Brown, John Klingberg. Like, you are, no matter what, every single night the Edmonton Oilers will be putting out 2 defensemen that should not be in a playoff lineup, at least to start a playoff run. Like, you need more than 6 defensemen to make a Stanley Cup run, but you're starting off game 1 of a 16-win journey with 2 guys that really should not be in there. It's a really tough place to start off with. And on the LA side, to me, it's 6 defensemen that are plus, like, defenders, right? Like, plus NHL defensemen. Like Brant Clark, not a plus defender,
Mm-hmm.
33 points in 78 games. He was their leading scorer on the blue line. Awesome. Gavrikov, awesome. Jordan Spence, really good year. 28 points, really good. Mikey Anderson, their shutdown defenseman. Joel Edmondson played over 20 minutes a night, surprisingly, 20 points, and Drew Doughty. Like, that is 6 defenders that should be in the lineup. I think that's the difference for me.
Yeah. I'll just jump in. I just agree. LA in 6. I just think this is the year that they have the likeliest. Like, they have a nucleus of a team. They have Darcy Kemper playing really, really good hockey, and I do think it's an injury bug for Edmonton, and just in the sense that it's Ekholm. Really, like Ekholm is a staple on that back end. We don't know how healthy McDavid and Draisaitl are, and they battle. But we've seen Draisaitl get injured in like back-to-back playoffs, and I just think if he's already injured and he's not 100%, is he going to be ready to play every game? Is he going to have to miss time? And that's not good for an Edmonton team who, like we said, needs to lengthen their lineup. So give me LA in 6.
Boys, I'm afraid we have a unanimous pick here. I've got LA in 6 as well. I swear, everybody, we didn't communicate beforehand, as you could tell, like from our prior picks. But I think the only way for the Oilers to really have a chance in this series is pray to God that some shaman power comes in and magically heals Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl's ailments. I think they're going to torment a little bit. They're going to do a little bit of tormenting. Like, we know how good those two guys are, but I think the series really hinges on the health of those two guys, and they've done their fair share of putting the pucks in the back of the LA Kings net in prior playoff series. I don't think they've ever been this hurt coming into a series. They typically get hurt during this playoff series. It's really never been beforehand. And just based in terms of like just goaltenders right now, currently, I'm taking Darcy Kemper hand over fist, 100%.
I've made this comparison before, but you guys remember the Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout memes, where it's like Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani hit 4 home runs and set a franchise record in RBIs as they lose, not like the first time since Tungsten Armo Doyle. As I think we're gonna get a tweet at the end of this series. Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl set a playoff record for points scored between like 2 players as the Edmonton Oilers lose 4-2 to the LA Kings in round 1. Like, that's what I'm expecting in this series.
Very, very, very true.